Well, hello. Looks like Fez showed up at 3:59. Hi, Fez. I don't know if you're still here or not, but hi for being the first one here. Interestingly enough, and oddly, I only have one internet bar, which is not the usual case here at my live sales. Hello, I'm Lucinda. So I'm gonna turn on the YouTube app, mine, on my phone, secondary device, and just make sure that I'm not super choppy because that's so annoying. So give me a second. Okay. Well, I'm actually not, and I'm only about an 8-second lag. Well, hopefully it stays that way. Please tell me if in fact it gets really bad. Okay, so hi. I wasn't sure. Hi, Fuzz. Fuzz, I got your emails. I got your messages. This is just, I'm addressing to my friend Fuzz. And everything's good. And you don't have to do anything. It's just a matter of me invoicing out everything from the last 2 weeks Build-A-Box and including today. I'm going to add all that together tomorrow and Sunday. All I'm doing is invoicing and then taking it to the post office. But you are not responsible to do anything. The package is back with me, safe and sound. Okay. So, I'm Lucinda. Welcome to my Friday live sale. It's usually a show and tell about vintage costume jewelry and signs and how to date it, how to understand it, what you might want to look for on your own, on other channels, on my channel, and when you're out shopping in the wild. Since I didn't have a Monday sale, which I put out a little blurb, you did pay. I hope you didn't pay more, Fuzz. You better not have. I put out a tiny blurb on Monday, very late. Over the holiday weekend, my family was here, and we spread my father's ashes and the last of my mother's to go together with his. And so, I'm just not doing that good this week. So I'm kind of combining Monday, Friday, and I'm going to move a little faster, and I'm going to do as much as I can. And then what I can't do, that's okay too. I'm good with that. So here's where I'm at for anyone who watches this on the replay or is here now. This is where I'm at. I took a good couple of months off after my father passed. I was his sole caregiver and my mother's sole caregiver with help from my daughter and her husband who lived there. And then I came back and, I was doing okay, but I wasn't like my usual totally up to par. And then this last weekend happened and I figured out that I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I'm not quite sure who I am. I'm not quite sure where I want to be. And I have a lot of stuff going on right now to do with the last little bits of my parents' estate and my inheritance. And so I'm just going to be coming on when I can, be that on Mondays or Fridays or a pop-up randomly or whatever, until such a time as I'm really put back together, because I'm not. And you guys don't need me to come in here and be all sad and a bummer. You want to come in here and have a good time, and so do I. So that's what my business is about. That's what my vintage passion is about. So, that might take me several months, but that's all I got. Thank you, Fuzz. Nope. And Fuzz. So lastly, because I was first, there with my mother and she passed, and then immediately thrust into my father and living there full time almost immediately as well, and losing my own autonomy in my own finally established business up here where I live at the homestead that I have inherited. I'm just floating around like, okay, now I'm 64 years old. I'm going to be 65. Who the heck am I? What do I want to do? How do I handle all these weird details of stuff that to do with inheritance and estate that I've never dealt with? So, you know what? I'm going to give myself a lot of grace. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So, it was 92 degrees here at noon. It is currently 88. Yesterday was the same. I slept under the sheet with the windows open and the ceiling fan going nonstop. So if I, with all those factors, if I'm a little scattered as I posted when I popped in, forgive me. Man, it's hot. I got a fan blowing. I'm sure you all can hear it. But if I didn't have it on, I could not sit here. Faz, I love you. Okay. Now, I live in Northern California. If you bid on something today and yours is the winning bid and I don't already have your information or you've moved, something has changed, if you haven't bought from me in quite a while, please, there's my email. Send me your YouTube name, your real name with address and zip code, and separately in that email, your PayPal email address. Don't assume that I'm going to know that the email you're sending that information to me from is your PayPal email address, because they're often different. And I've had lately twice a huge confusion, which just has bummed everyone out because that has not been included. Okay, so those are the things I need. I will be invoicing out Saturday and Sunday for the last 3 weeks. I generally do 2 weeks build the boxes, saves you money on your shipping cost, saves me time. And I use Pirate Ship to save you about a third on shipping, like everyone. I mean, all of this is stuff you hear over and over again, but we have to say it because you never know who's coming in for the first time, right? Nobody knows. I really do my best to pick items that won't weigh over a pound, even with jewelry tucked in when I'm picking up household items, and that fit within a standard box, which includes all dimensions. Okay. Now, with that said, I will tell you that postage has really gone up in that short amount of time I took off after my father passed. I mean, by a couple dollars to get across the country. So there you are. I have no control over that. Okay. So if anyone has any questions, drop them in the comments. If anyone wants to engage with me in the chat like Fuzz is, that's fantastic. That always makes me happy. Fuzz is great. And I have several other people that come in. One who always surprises me. And I enjoy the back and forth. It makes me happy. That makes the channel happy. That makes everything keep popping. So I am going to have a few really cool household items and some jewelry. And like I said, it's almost 90. It's been that way for 2 days. And I'm going through clinical depression from 3 years of caretaking and losing 2 parents. So I'm going to do the best I can for as long as I can. Okay? Thank you. Any questions? Put them in the chat. All right. Here we go. Let's get the show rolling. That was a lot of preamble, but it always is, you know. Sometimes I know some resellers who just kind of start talking and doing their thing, and then when someone buys, they do some amble, you know, and they just assume people know what's going on. And I could do it that way, but I don't. Okay. So the first thing starting bid of 15 is 14 vintage marbles in a vintage made in China spice jar. Fully functional, nothing broken on the plastic lid, closes really tightly. There is a tiny little it's not so much a chip that I can feel. It's just a roughness. I almost think it's just manufacturing because I can't feel anything with my hand. And usually, well, I can right at the edge. But it's not all of this. So inside here is some slag marbles, some cat's eye marbles, mini blue shooters, really old. And so that is less than $1 a marble. I think there's 3 slag, 1 white, 1 mini blue, and 1 mini orange. So that's way less than well, no, it's a little over $1 a marble, but that's how much they go for with the jar. Starts at 15. And, it is what it is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. If you collect marbles, you know what it is, and you will know if you want it. Right? This is a good slag marble down there. Okay. And I have quite a bit of these cat's eye, if anyone is interested. So I'm going to put it to the side and say pass. And move on to the next thing. Oh, Fuzz. And I'm sorry again, Fuzz. My apologies for not getting back to you. I just can't do it right now. Starting bid choice. Look at that. Whenever my StreamYard limit resets, and it's not right at the end of my free, because I don't pay for a plan, I don't have that big of a channel, then the banner's all teeny tiny instead of being black and going across the screen. It's some kind of StreamYard thing to annoy you, like, you better buy a plan from us. And I'm like, no, not until I'm making a lot of money. So this is a starting bid choice. I paid more than that for these. I love them. But God bless it. I can't keep everything. And I did a lot of buying when my parents were sick because I love this stuff. This is from the 1950s to early 60s. This is an atomic theme, clearly, right? You see the rocket ship. You see the planets. It's red, white, and blue. I hope it's showing up. Let's see if I turn this thing on. It's probably going to be too bright and totally annoying. Oh, no, look. Wow, yay. And there's a spaceman in a spacesuit taken off and another spaceman down there. I don't know if he's supposed to be on the moon. I don't know. Red, white, and blue. It is one of those. It has the little round metal thing that you need to get into the hole here. And it's cardboard. Here's the bottom. Yes, Fuzz, it's totally better. I love it. It's been terrible. And now today it's good. And this one is this kind of crazy looking squirrel. I mean, like, or maybe it's a beaver. I don't know. And it as well has the 2 metal discs. And I just love the graphics. And this one is pink and white. So it's your choice. These are fabulous. These are very hard to find, by the way, because it's just a thick acrylic type cover with cardboard. It's the graphics that are outstanding, and these got crushed because little kids played with them and thrown away. They're kind of like maybe birthday party favors, right? 5 and dime. I bet these were in like the 5-cent section of the 5 and dime. So there you go. That's those two. Those are a couple household items. Thank you for looking. I appreciate it. So I do have some new jewelry, and I'm going to start out with a banger. And let's see. You remember that? Me too, Fuzz. I loved it. Oh, Fuzz, I'm highlighting your comment. That's my friend Fuzz, everyone. Woo, okay. This is beautiful. Buzz, I know. This starts at $36. And here's the back. You see how the safety clasp just comes through. Here's the metal. It is kind of an oval triangle. Based on how far this comes out, it's super sharp. I'm going to go with, this was probably 1950s. That is blue glass. And it is a, like that, dark blue. Dark blue. And then there's almost like a shell swirl with these, how would you describe this? These kind of random raised with the dots on each one of those stones. That is glass. I would wager it's check glass. I'm surprised that it's only, as I'm dating it, 1950s, because typically a design like this with this type of glass would in fact be Victorian. And the only reason I'm not going with Victorian on this piece is simply because the clasp doesn't come out far enough. I mean, the pin back doesn't come out far enough. Howsoever, it is quite possible, because this happens all the time. See how sharp it is? And how well used this pin was. It's quite possible that someone cut it down. They sometimes did that because they just didn't like that it was, hurting them. So it is possible that, in fact, this is Victorian because it has all the hallmarks except for the push pin. And again, it is dark blue glass. Absolutely gorgeous. And it is that big. I'll give you a measurement. I'll give you a real measurement. An 1 2/3 inches long and 1.5 inches across. It's because it's a triangular oval. It's really hard to measure, but look how gorgeous that is. I love this piece. Thank you, Fuzz. I mean, I love this piece. And I want to say it's Victorian, but because of the pin back, I'm not going to. So I'm going to take a moment and put this. I just brought this out for the first time. If you're here, you get to see it for the first time. Needed to put it in a bag because it was not in a bag, and I store my stuff in a bag. And so one of the things that some of you are probably noticing today, there's not going to be a lot of that, just a little. There's been a lot of repeat showing of items. Why is that? Because I have so many, and I took a lot of time off, and I need to sell that inventory. So that's part of what I'm working on. And even working on whether or not I'm going to have this business. Unclear. Am I going to wind up doing in a couple months like a clearance where I just sell a whole bunch of like the more modern but still costume vintage jewelry for like $3 or less? Yeah, maybe. I haven't figured it out, but I can't keep filling up my house and not selling the old stuff. And it's not that the other stuff isn't worthy. It's just that I live in California and have to pay up. So I don't know. Light bulb, show again. Yeah, show again, but I don't know. Maybe I'll wind up doing a clearance. And so I'm going to get back into selling. But I went to the ocean on Tuesday. It was incredible. Every time I go, the ocean is 45 minutes away from me. It's actually 20, but the beach I go to is 45 minutes. 45 minutes through the redwoods and along the Highway 1 in California. I live in the most beautiful area anywhere in California. Every time I go, it's windy. The fog is socked in. It's cold. It was crystal clear. There was no wind. The tide was out. I was in the tide pools, and the town that I went through that I'd never bothered looking at before because I haven't been up there for 3 years is filled with thrift stores. So I might just have found a new resource if I can manage to stay in this business. Hi, Rose. Hi. Thank you for popping in to say hi. I appreciate it. Okay, so moving on, let's see what else I have. These are really incredible 1970s giant silver, brass, and copper hoop earrings. And good Lord, I remember these. I wore earrings like this. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it when I found these. And actually, I'm going to tell you, starting bid of 20. I did look these up today because it's too hot to move out of your chair. So I spent a lot of time in my chair researching, and these sell for $40 to $80. And I was like, that's crazy, but they do. Let me take one off here, and they're heavy. They're silver, sterling silver. Sorry, my nose from the heat. Sterling silver, copper, and brass. Oh boy. Okay, it's the heat. The pollen, there's some flowering tree or grass at this particular moment in the valley. Tanya, hi, honey. How are you? Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. There's some tree, and with this outrageous heat, my throat and my nose have been going crazy the last couple days. So look at that. It's got copper caps on it. Pierced ears. It is heavy, but isn't that just to me, this is like the bee's knees of what I wore as a little hippie kid in the 70s. And they both have their original backs. Let's see. I always try to do this. They're pretty. It's hard to show this correctly. They're big hoops. So let's see. That's not helpful. That's not helpful, y'all. But you get the idea. I mean, I could put it through my earring holder, and I'll give you a measurement. But honestly, these sell for $40 to $80 online. So 20 is, I think, a really good price. Tanya, I miss, I don't see you as often as I would like. I don't come into your chats or your live sales as often as I would like to. I'm just, working through my stuff here. They are 1¼ inches long this way, and about 3/4 of an inch wide, if you will. And they're heavy. So for instance, I have older ears that have just really stretched out because, I would wear 3 earrings in just this one earring hole. And then I have a whole bunch of piercings here. So my ears were weighed down. So I can't wear something this heavy anymore, but these are a gem. And if you're a reseller, there's meat on the bones. Sterling silver, copper, and brass with the copper cuffs, end caps. Okay, and clearly I showed you there is 2. It is a pair. Yeah, I know you do, Tanya, but that's part of why I like coming in and hanging out with you, because I know you get it, and we don't even need to talk about it, but I just know you're there and you get it, and that is really helpful. Okay. Oh, and Tanya, it must be brutal hot up there. My God. So I don't do recaps for anyone who's here. I don't do recaps. So if you come in, you can watch on the replay, or you can go to your settings, put them on ×2, and listen to me like a chipmunk, and drop in the chat anything that has not sold that you are interested in. And I will happily sell it to you today and not for a hamburger on Thursday. But you won't get a bill. You should be getting your invoices tomorrow and Sunday. Okay? Okay. No, Tanya. See, you live... Yeah. Hard pass. Oh, my Lord. Tanya, you live in an area that it's that hot. Like, I have a friend up in Twain Harte, Sonora area, which is above you, but nonetheless, you're prepared for that. Here, I'm prepared for it to be 85 into the 90s for a couple months, but not 119. That was like when I lived in Davis and could fry an egg on the sidewalk up by Sacramento. Whew, no. Nope. And I don't have AC. Yeah, I've actually gotten, why is this doing this to me? I've actually gotten into my car in Davis, and all I could do was with a glove, turn the ignition on, turn the AC on, and sit back and wait. I have a problem and I need a pair of scissors. Hold on. And wait for 15 minutes for the car to cool down before I could even attempt to drive. And as a little girl, I did fry eggs on the sidewalk. And I think I might have eaten them. I mean, my parents let me do stuff like that. What are you going to do? I don't think it hurt me. I'm pretty sure I cleaned the sidewalk area before I did that. So this is made in Japan. Howsoever, I'm still bugged by this little thing. Super long. I'm so sorry. This is not normally something that would be going on with me. See, that's why I have not been coming on, because I just am like aware that my bandwidth is a little ridiculous right now. Okay. So this says on the clasp, if I can close it again, if I can find it and keep my stuff together. Ta-da! This says on the clasp it says Japan. However, everyone that I see, let me put a starting bid. See, I don't think I can keep myself together today. Everyone that I've seen listed, and I immediately got this hit, says that it is Coro and it is melt glass, which is the same feeling I have about it. Melt glass from 1937 to 1945, and it was in a partnership with someone. I forgot. Sorry. So that's the clasp. It says Japan there, and it's got the melt glass. It's got the copper banding that looks like gold paint, the gold filigree, and it is 56 inches long. So I'm just trying to show you. Okay, I need to highlight that. Tanya, did you ever fry an egg on the sidewalk? You've done so many things. I might as well ask you. Have you ever fried an egg on the sidewalk? Look at this. So I know it says Japan. I know Japan did copies. I know from selling for so long that one person will make a description and then everyone just copies and pastes it, and and they're all wrong. But I don't think this is wrong because it's very high quality, and you could actually wrap this around yourself 3 times. I firmly believe, even though it says Japan, that it is a early Coro piece, perhaps made in Japan. So y'all decide what you want. Either way, it's worth $30. These are selling online. I found 2 or 3 for closer to $45 or $50. It's a very old, beautiful melt glass. And it's in near perfect condition with the beautiful clasp. Starting at 30, or a belt road. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. I don't do recaps. And like I said, today, I'm doing my best to be here. I'm not sure when I'm coming back on, but it will not be till at least next Friday. Okay, so yeah. And things that don't sell today will wind up. This thing does not want to go in a bag. Will wind up coming back around. I just found this on Tuesday when I was up at the ocean. I was in Fort Bragg. Okay, Cashmere. Yeah, I was up at this incredible beach. I'm going to upload a couple shorts. The hermit crabs in the tide pools, the sea anemones. I mean, incredible. And the breathing that I was able to do. And I have said repeatedly, I need to go to the beach. I need to go to the beach. I need to go to the beach. Because the beach and the trees is where I get my healing. That's where I make my connection to the spirit. So, yeah. Okay, I don't remember where I got this from anymore. I don't remember how much I paid for it. So, I'm likely selling it close to cost because I've had it sitting for a while. This is beautiful. This is one of those pieces with the multicolored foil. I bet this is lucite. I haven't shined a light on it yet. That makes it look like an opal, like a fire opal. There you go. Unfortunately, my new ring light up there is still giving me the issues of showing things 100% all the time. This is a hinged bracelet. There is beautiful, I mean, this is really well made, and I have a feeling about it. This is filigree work. It's actually raised, ridged, inset filigree work. I don't know if you can see that. It is a clamper. It is pinks, yellows, and greens, that kind of shiny foil. Gosh. And every time I do that, all I see is the gold. And when I do that, I see the plastic. That's kind of good. So it has a really cool, this little ball pulls away, and it's pretty tight clamp. Here's the back. I'll put it on in a second. It's wrapped in this gold tone here. There is, in fact, right up here, a maker's name, but it is so older and worn. In fact, I don't know if it's a maker's name or if it's saying something about some kind of gold filled or gold plated. I cannot tell. I tried really hard with my old eyes, but there is something there. And this is stunning. If you like this. So let's see if it's lucite. What the heck? No, it's not. But hey, so, okay. So that tells me that it's likely more 1960s. But you know what it does do by shining this light on it? It lets you see all the little, if I could, man. Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on, Rose. I want to read that. Sounds really beautiful. But what this does do is let you see all the multiple colors in there in a way that this new overhead ring light up here with 5 settings is not doing a very good job of. It's really stunning. Okay, let me put it on my wrist to give you a size. And I want to read what Rose said. I will have to take this beautiful gift from Muppets. Muppets gave me this glass. Maybe I can't take it off because it's so hot. There we go. Muppets gave me this beautiful glass cuff. So let me take it off for a second and put this on. And while I do, Rose, I was playing my native flute, a heart song, when my dad passed. And I was encompassed by at least 100 seagulls dipping and diving all around me while I played it. It was heavenly. Rose, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So it fits exactly on my wrist. And that, in fact, even gives you a good idea of the foil and the filigree work. This is a high quality one. I wish I could read what it said. I'm a 7.25. So this is a 7.25. It's a little loose, but I would hate, I can get a finger in there, but I would hate to tell you it would fit a 7.5 wrist and be wrong. So I'm going to stick with 7.25. Rose, and it's in perfect condition. I honestly believe that this may be gold filled or electro plated. Rose, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I very much, so this is going down, it's going in a bag. I took one last teaspoon. I kept a little bit back here for a couple reasons, but I took a teaspoon of my mother's. So anyone who's here, I'm off the cuff emotions. And if, I do that when I sell, and if you don't like that, that's okay. There's other places to be. That's just my process, stream of consciousness, and very honest. I took a teaspoon of my mom's ashes out of the original little containers that all the family members got and spread her at the beach that I went to up in Fort Bragg, because she had requested about 2 months before she died, and she said it repeatedly, that she wanted some of her to go on the Mendocino headlands, not just here at the homestead. So that was really beautiful. Okay. Thank you for listening to my stories. I hope I don't bore you to death. Let me pull something else up. Okay, I've shown this so many times, and I'm gonna lose money on it because I have so many. Thank you, Rose. It was beautiful. I have so many brooches. The only reason I don't have one on today is because I don't have a country overshirt because it's 90 degrees. This is outstanding. This is what I paid for this. This is glass, not plastic. Typically, when you find these AB coated, multicolored brooches with the rhinestone pins that go down into the metal, it's plastic. This is glass, and it's in perfect condition. I want you to see the stacking like a little flower. It has the middle, has a layer, and then another layer. And these pins, copper pins with the little rhinestones, go down, and then there's metal wire weaving on this little hollowed piece to hold everything together. It is yellows and pinks primarily. Honestly, I just have so many brooches, and it's about, well, I'll give you the real measurements, but I believe it's about 1.5 inches. Yeah, it's 1.5 inches in diameter. Whoa, my ruler just fell on the ground. I'll pick it up. And let me put this against my grandma's. I called her Grammy. I couldn't say grandma's. I couldn't say grandma. So I said Grammy. And that stuck. Black purse. So you see a little more depth. My computer's trying to focus. It doesn't want to, does it? Interesting. At any rate. And this is the back. I would say this is from the 60s. Could be the 50s, but the pin isn't sticking through. And but I'll tell you what, seeing as how it's glass, this probably cost $20 back then. One last shot. Thank you, Rose. Yep, this I've said it so many times. I say it almost every time I come on lately. This community got me through it. Yep. Found it in COVID. And then about 2 years ago, I decided to start selling again, and saved my life. Okay, remember, I don't do recaps. So if you're thinking about it, screenshotting it, looking it up, go for it. Go for it. But put it in the chat now. if you decide you are interested in something. Please and thank you. And, you could give me a thumbs up. You could subscribe. You don't have to buy. I welcome lurkers. Okay, so on the theme of the 1970s silver, copper, and brass bold hoop earrings, which I just love, these would go together. Buy it now, $10. This is it's brass, and it has it's brass and copper, but so hopefully you can see, there you go, copper and brass. What I will say is it kind of looks like there was some overlay of the copper on the brass, either that or it just needs a polish. Unclear. At any rate, it's a bangle, 1970s. And then this is just probably, it's got some patina, but that's probably like a 1990s, just, basic gold tone bangle with a little vine design, so to speak, on it. So this is almost like a giveaway, really. But because they're the same color, I figured they should go together. And do they fit me? Coffee. I'm drinking so much water. So this one fits me with a lot of room to spare. So since I'm a 7.25, I would say this would go up to a 7.75. But remember your hand size, right? Like I used to have the tiniest fingers. I mean, I still have short little fingers. Everything about me is short. But my fingers used to be much skinnier. And as I've gotten older, they're a little kind of arthritic. Caretaking didn't help. So remember, even though this is a 7.75 ladies, which is the top of ladies medium, you got to remember your hand size, okay? And maybe if you wear giant rings, take your rings off. Now, will this one also fit me? Yeah, there you go. Now, it's smaller, so I'm just going to stick with 7.25. If you had a skinny hand, you could go to a 7.5 if you have a slender hand. And I think they go together. I mean, look at this hand. Some of these is India pure gold. Some of this is totally worn out gold from my Grammy and my great aunt Ho Ho. Some of this is like an 80s bangle, this one. So this is how I wear stuff. This one was electroplated gold. It still has some on it, but it's just the thinnest piece of metal ever. But I mean, these never come off. It's kind of like the tribal lady. So that was a buy it now for 10. It's kind of like the India ones, right? You wear your wealth on your body. So, I could throw these into the mix on my arm. Okay. Thank you for looking. Thank you for being here. Got your coffee, Rose? I got I think this is a Safeway brand. I don't even know. But the grapefruit flavored sparkling water, no sugar, none of that. It's really good. And it was on sale. So that was even better. Okay. What is going on around here? All right. So I showed this, I think last week. Whoa. Me and technology. I touch my keyboard and all kinds of crazy stuff happens. I showed this last week for the first time. And I was like, open ocean. Who's open ocean? What's open ocean mean? I don't have any idea. This looks like it's turn of the century. I don't understand what's going on here. Does anyone know? No one had anything to say. No one seemed to know anything. Last week, I asked on Monday, or maybe it was the week before Friday, I asked 40. I'm now asking a starting bid of 30. And I found out what the heck it is. And it's pretty overwhelming, actually. Look at this incredible brooch. Look at the movement in this. It is pewter. So here's what I found out. Here's the back. It is, in fact, most likely from the 20s or 30s. And it is pewter. Open Ocean is a name of this design, but the person who designed it, let me show you the full Open Ocean, is someone called Robert Archibald. Archibald, like B-O-L-D. I believe it was Robert. And it is not made in the concept of, because I could tell the difference. Robert Archibald, if you want to look him up, his stuff online, his pewter jewelry, sells for $100 and over. And that includes a brooch like this and the Open Ocean. I could only find one of these, and I think it was listed for $80. Yep. It is. So this is, I knew that it was something. I knew, but I didn't know anything about Open Ocean, which I thought was the maker. That completely threw me off. And it's just, I love it. I love it to death. Yeah, totally, Rose. That's Robert Archibald was an Art Deco jewelry designer. I believe it's almost 3 inches. And please, am I freezing or glitching? If I do, please tell me. Please tell me. It's 2.5 inches long. And not quite 1.5. A little over 1.25, though. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Because I only have the one little bar there. And I'm so used to freezing. I did get finally a new internet dish about a month ago from the company we've been with since dial-up. Everyone remember dial-up internet? Oh my God. So yeah, we've been with the same company ever since we had dial-up internet, where you would dial the phone, it would make all those crazy noises, and then you'd put it in a thing and it connected to your computer. Oh, good Lord. So for your consideration, starting bid of 30. So I finally got a new satellite dish, because I'm on a satellite dish that connects to someplace way across the ridge in the valley over there. And the new dish, I don't freeze. Oh, Fuzz, bye, honey. You have an excellent evening, and you have a lovely weekend. And I will be remailing your package, and you do not owe me a thing. Okay? Thank you, Fuzz, and thank you for understanding that I'm not ignoring you. Bye. Okay. I'm going to have a lot of stuff coming back around, and I have kind of a lot of stuff in a similar vein, and I've been on almost an hour. Of course, there's talking in there. But most likely I won't stay on longer than an hour and a half because I'm showing all my new stuff and I'm going to have to re-show it at another sale. And that takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it? Does for me. Oh, buy it now. I gotta blow my nose again. There is, I don't know what tree it is up here. I've always had allergies. But there's just the timing of the heat. July is always hot. That's when it starts. But the heat started late this year here. And so the two combined, the heat and whatever the pollen is really, I need to take Claritin. Okay, now I have 3 people. Who knows? Now I have 4. This is totally 1960s, 1970s. You can see the one little bit of pushed up damage, copper and brass cuff. Very much unisex. I love this kind of almost infinity wave in the middle. And then the copper on the outside is like braided. It was well loved. Thank you, Rose. Yes. But I learned a lot from all of you. I mean, you know, you can Rose, I never stop learning. I watch other people all the time because even though I've been doing this for, 40, 50 years selling jewelry, I'm always learning. Like, who the heck knew about Robert Archibald? Not me. So one of the ways I can tell this is a much older, I don't want to say native because nowhere on here does it say any kind of maker, anything. But this kind of little button almost on both sides, that's an extra kind of manufacturing process they did that would not be done today because it would just be extra material and a waste of material. It's beautiful. And you can see, I mean, it's a little misshapen. It was loved. Okay, bros, go check your pewter. Yep. Maybe you have some Art Deco hanging around. And it took me a long time to put the right kind of safety knobby. There you go, Rose. It took me a long time. I couldn't find it with the image. I had to type in all kinds of other like really detailed information in the Googler before I finally found it because it's just that particular brooch. Literally, I found 2. So it was really specific. All right, here it is on my wrist. See how wide it is? So I suspect I really do. I suspect a male wore this because it's so open. Obviously, you can close it much tighter. I like to leave these in the condition I find them. And then whomsoever purchases it can squeeze it or open it more. Because with these, okay, so I'm just going to say this because I talk a lot. And you can see all the patina in there. This may actually be, you know what? There's so much patina on here. And look at this in the copper. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this could be edging more towards much earlier and the Harvey house, the whole Harvey house with Native American type things, even though this has nothing to indicate to me that it could be. It is I believe it's an older artisan piece because it's just so detailed and it's got Yeah. It's been well loved, but if you like your copper, your infinity, if you like artisan pieces, all you have to do is push. Oh, so that's what I was going to say. That's why. So you can see how this was bent and it just stayed on someone's wrist. Probably a hippie who found it later on at a thrift store in life. With silver and with copper that's like this, that's this thin, when you get a cuff, you don't want to bend it and open it, bend it and open it, bend it and open it, or it's going to have a stress fracture at a place like this within a year or less. So you want to put it on, you want to bend it to where it goes on and off your wrist and leave it alone. I broke a 100-year-old silver Harvey House cuff because I kept squeezing it and I didn't know that. So, okay, moving on. Just another bit of information for y'all to put in your pocket, so to speak. So today's been a lot of copper and brass. Maybe I'm just returning to my little girl hippie roots in this sale. I don't know what I'm doing. So upcoming this month, I have a whole huge box of my mother's hippie jewelry. And I will be I've gone through the family, the old family jewelry, like turn of the century, heavy amethyst, Victorian pieces, all of that, the stuff that I want to keep. But she has a lot of older turquoise trading post pieces and all this that I just don't need. It's not quite my style. And so a lot of that will be coming up next month. Yeah. So what I will do at this moment is offer this entire bag of the silver, copper, brass hoops, the copper and brass woven bangle, the infinity older artisan, possibly Harvey House Native American, not sure, copper cuff with the vine kind of, modern throwaway bangle, the whole entire bag. I will do a all together just in case someone is interested in it for today at a price of you saw my hippie photo, Rose. That wasn't even really me being a hippie then, believe it or not. That was me being in my 20s, and my favorite music then was punk rock. I was somewhere in between. I was like 20, 21, somewhere in between the whole thing. So this whole bag and these earrings sell for up to $80 on their own. This copper bracelet, even in the shape it's in, maybe 20. And then there's the other woven bangle. So the whole bag, 35 if anyone is interested. No younger? Oh, hi, Bonnie. How's it going, sweetheart? How are you? I saw you earlier. Earlier than that? So that was just for today, or if someone comes in later, I don't do recaps and you want to claim it. Oh, Rose, did I post a picture of me with the scarf dancing? Sister Boogie clears the dance floor? I don't know. It's been a while. I might have. Is that what you're talking about? That was funny. That I was 14 in a bar for a benefit for Rather Ripped Records and some famous band that wasn't totally famous, like around the country yet, was playing for them. And of course they let me in the door. because I love to dance. Why in the heck they let me in the door? I have no idea. That was a really bad idea. But that's what they did back then. Oops, sorry, this one has a extra symbol. Yeah, that's the way it was back then. You know, they let kids in places that in the 70s, 80s, they had no business letting them in. You know, all I did was hang out and dance all night. I had a great time, you know, and I was with my friends, so I was in no danger. I think the event ended at like 11, and, you know, a mom picked us up or whatever. A mom. So a mom is picking us up from the bar. And we're 14. Okay. Yeah. That was Berkeley. I mean, what? Different times for sure. It's called absentee parenting. Yeah. Okay. So this is your choice. $8. The extra slash has nothing to do with anything. This is those classic this is a 1960s, could be into the 70s, could be as early as the 50s. Silk wrapped thread, so that that's plastic under here, almost like a celluloid plastic, very easily, well, not easily, but if you pushed on it, you would squish it. It's kind of like a celluloid plastic, and it is that silk thread, red with gold spacers or black with gold spacers. I like these. They're just a simple little thing. I think they look good together. They'd be great at Halloween together, or you could separate it out, have this in the summer, or just at Halloween, this at Christmas. It is a bright red, which is not showing up. Very well. Yeah, we did. I did a lot of things that I don't do anymore. And if I could go back in time and I was at a different time in a different place with maybe different parents, I wouldn't have done it all. It's been a long time since I've done anything like that. 14. It's about 16 inches on each side, so 32 inches in total. So that means comes down to probably right about here for me, in the middle of the whole, V, right? So like right there. Yep. Okay. Your choice, 8. I like them. They're just classic. All the secretaries, all the ladies who went out to the elegant dinners had these, and some matching earrings, and, just something not too expensive but fun. And very lightweight that they threw on and, went out. Had a martini, I guess. Or maybe what would they have? Martini, what's some other kind of drink that the ladies would order? Something sweet, something like frou-frou that, only a lady would order back then. As opposed to a martini, they would have, possibly ordered something more demure. I can't, Cosmo, okay. Yeah, sweet drinks, right? Like with an umbrella. I don't know, I'm making this up, but it sounds good. And I think it's also true. My grandmother, my Grammy grandmother, would come out from New Jersey to California at Thanksgiving. with her live-in boyfriend, but we called him Uncle John. I didn't know. I was totally confused about who he was or what was going on. The one time I went to visit her when I was young, I was told he lived upstairs, but he didn't. And when they came flying out here from New Jersey, they brought an entire suitcase filled with alcohol to make their drinks before dinner. And on Sunday afternoons, they just sat and drank. And in my mind, I'm like, why the heck don't you just go to the liquor store, even as a little girl, go to the store and buy it here? What are you dragging around a suitcase through the airport of alcohol? Never, ever will I understand that. And they weren't like huge, they weren't like drunks or anything, but I mean, I can't imagine packing a suitcase because, oh my God, I'm going all the way across the country and, I can't buy there. Like, what kind of mentality was that? I don't know. Maybe they needed like a martini shaker. I don't know. I have no idea. Rose. Honestly. So these are, good Lord, I forgot the name of them. The type of pearls. I know they're natural pearls. They are dyed this like orange copper with a little green in here. I have no idea, Rose. In the 60s, but this was a tiny town, Davis, a little university town by Sacramento. So I don't know. They have a really distinctive color. Like they would, for instance, match this glass cuff really nicely. But they are a very distinctive orangey coppery color. Boy, I really am on a coppery color thing. And I forgot the name of these elongated pearls. I know like potato pearls, this pearl, that pearl, but I forgot the name of these. Does anyone remember? Anyone in here know? Yeah, maybe they were afraid that, an hour and a half away in Davis, the People's Parks and the campus riots would come down from Berkeley and they couldn't get to the liquor store. Are these Baroque pearls, Rose? I mean, who knows what they thought. I mean, she lived in New Jersey her whole life. So she, California must have been very exotic. When they traveled, they went to Florida. So they are about 1.5 inches long, and they're really pretty, very lightweight. These are Baroque pearls. Thank you. See, there's the shine. There's the color. They're really nice. I really like them. And, I mean, I could be wearing them right now. Buy it now, 14. Baroque pearls. Thank you, Rose. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I guess that we didn't have. Okay, I don't remember as a little girl having any protests at Davis, the University of Davis, only Berkeley. So we did. Davis invented Whole Earth Day. My godfather invented Whole Earth Day, but it was called Earth Day. I think it was 1967 or 1968 was the first Earth Day celebration at UC Davis, developed and put on and put together by Jose Arguelles. And he was my godfather. He later became this reclusive guy who lived like Kauai in Hawaii. And he was the head with a totally different name, like Wolf something. I don't remember. of the Mayan calendar movement and predicted, that the earth was going to end on a certain day in this certain year that was like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And everyone believed this crap. And of course, it didn't happen. He went way out there. But my godfather invented a whole Earth Day. So I think that's pretty cool. I guess I am a hippie. 2012, Rose. So do you remember his name? Like Coyote or Wolf or whatever? Jose Arguelles. That was my godfather. I need to get off of here because I'm I have told a lot of stories about myself today. I guess I needed to come on and hang out with you guys. To have a little bit of laughter. That's why I came back to selling and being here with y'all in the first place. So thank you. I got my happy on. That's cool. So, I'm only going to show another couple items. I really love that y'all are here and hanging with me. And I get to laugh and tell stories. I really do. But I haven't made a single sale. And I have a rule if I love chatting with you all. And I'll always do that at all kinds of sales, not just mine. I talk a lot, even in other people's sales. But I have a rule if it's been an hour or so and I haven't sold an item, that I need to shut it down. Because time is money. And I'm showing all the new stuff, and then I'm going to have to bring it all back. And all of you are going to be like, why am I here? I already saw all that. And I don't do recaps because I don't really find them worthwhile. But I'm happy to bring an item back up if someone's interested. Okay, these are so cool. These are sterling silver basket earrings. Oh, Lord. I looked them up this morning, and I saw who made them. Oh, and now I forgot. They are... Oh, Lord, I forgot. I will tell you the one thing that threw me off about identifying, I did a dive because it's 90 degrees and I couldn't get on my seat, was the fact that the wires are not the sterling silver wires that are on I saw like 4 others that are these. They are these thick wires, and it says sterling silver on the wire. These clearly are replacements. How and why those sterling silver wires got taken off the originals and then we had to put these modern ones on, I don't know. But I did such a deep dive to ensure that I knew what I was talking about and that this was really sterling silver drops. And they're the exact same. They're not, a pewter reproduction. They're the exact same. And they sell for about $35 to $45. And it's just almost like a little, there's some that have hearts that go up. And then there's these that have kind of like almost a flower in the middle and then just random design. And they're called a basket. I'll show you the soldering marks and stuff in a minute. Because it's 2 pieces welded or soldered, in this case, soldered together, kind of forming like a basket weave. And like as if you could, store stuff in here, which you can't. Now, so you see that the lines and this, and then there is the solder mark where they close the two pieces together. It's just a drop of silver to close the two pieces together. It's very thick. And honestly, if I was a bigger channel, I could, and here's another solder seam here. I could be asking $40 or $50. These I saw on someone else's description. These are like 1.6 grams of sterling silver. So right there, that is more than $40. I mean, the reality is one person had these listed for $80 and one other person, I think, $100. So this is a really good price. They are scooch heavy. They're absolutely beautiful. Very unique. There's not a ton of them out there. And they are vintage. And they are sterling silver. They are 1 and almost 2/3 long. I know that light, that doesn't give you a great view. But these are fantastic. They would go very well with that ring. And I love that they're the open basket. Yep. Okay, so I am going to pivot because I have a few other new jewelry items, but I don't have that many people here and haven't made any sales. So what I'm going to pivot to is some household stuff. Yeah. Why not? And I'm just going to do, I think I'm just going to do 2 of them. Save that one for later. And we'll see what everyone thinks. And I appreciate that you're here. I know so if I have a rule, if I haven't sold anything within an hour and then another half hour goes by, I stop my sale, and that's okay. Because time is money. But what I've gotten from the people who are talking with me is a lot in my heart. So that is worth a lot. And I always want to tell all of you that because that is a lot. It means the world to me. Okay, this is so cool. It too is starting at $20. Thank you, Rose, for understanding that. I couldn't believe that I found this. And again, I'm finding all these new thrift stores. I only went in one. Look at this thing. Check her out. Check them all out. Check out what's happening here. You got your classic telephone girl with her rolled up pants and her ankle socks. You got your football dude. You got your couple at the soda fountain. A couple going to the prom. There they are dancing with their vinyls, their LPs, 45s. And That's probably like a yearbook. There's actually an album. And then all these words. There you go, Rose. And this down here, it's from the 1950s. I want to tell you about this piece. So it's a scrapbook or photo album, or, what all the ladies did back then. It was never used. It doesn't have loads of pages like some of them do. It is, that photograph scrapbook ephemera collection. It does have this one right there, scuff in slight discoloration, and that's it. And I'm going to tell you, there's 3 of these online. 3. One is not in very good condition, and it's about $20. The other one is filled with some random stuff, and it's about $20. The only other one that is in brand new, never used the pages condition, they're asking $90. Now, do I feel like I could ask $90 from you all? No, I don't feel that way. But do I feel like I can ask 20? Absolutely. Happy days. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday. I don't know. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Happy days. I don't know. I can't remember how that goes, but it's right there. But so see, oh, look, there is one in pencil. It says Club Moss, which you're not going to be able to see, but I want you to see the pages inside. They're brand new. Boom, the fan is helping me. I mean, it's so if you, Rose, want to make a date journal, here you go, because it's never been used. And the other cool thing about this, if you can kind of see in there, that black at the top is the string. The only thing that's holding this together, it has this metal, not rods, but metal whatever going through it, and then the string, which is like a dark blue, kind of faded. You just untie this string and you could add in more pieces of paper, because that's what's happening here. And it is copyright Premier NFC Company, 1950. David, Amy, Ruth, Lee, Beverly, Jim, Lenore, Patricia, Margot, Frank, Perry, Ted, George, Joey, Mary Jane, Muriel. Yep. It's so fantastic. And it's, I think it's like 11 by something. So this would fit in a box that would still have the dimensions. It wouldn't be oversized because it would be a long, narrow, flat box. But it's oh God, I love this. But I have loads and loads of photo albums, and I just inherited all these family photos. So I do not need to start another journal. And I have so many journals. I started writing in journals when I was 10, and I have almost all of them. So it's 14 inches tall. And about almost 12 inches wide on the bottom. This is the type of vintage, kitschy household item that I collect and I absolutely adore, other than Costume Joy, that's plastic. Yep. I love this. The right person will need to come along, but I'm here to tell you, it has no smell. It actually smells kind of perfumey, like it was kept in a cedar chest. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put this over here. Thank you for looking. So the last item I'm going to show today, I think I've shown this before, but I'm going to do it again, is this item. And I love this item to death. I bought it. I paid twice this, and they actually sell for higher than this. But I have so much personal jewelry. I just don't need another jewelry box. I don't. And I actually used it first for my really good pieces, necklaces of rhinestones and plastic costume jewelry and bracelet sets. And then I moved it into the bathroom and used it to store my cosmetics in. And that's actually totally appropriate, storing your cosmetics in it. I'm going to show you the lid first because it's a late 1950s Maybelline celluloid box, Maybelline Makeup Company. It is red. The roses are gigantic and carved in high relief. This is really serious. There's not that many out there. It's a gorgeous collector's piece. And these are the handles. This is the lid, right? I can't help it. There you go. And you know what I never checked, Rose and everyone else, was if this glowed, which it does not. The flowers, I never checked that. So then it's probably late 50s because it's not lucite. So this is the lid. And I'll give you a measurement in a minute. And it's about, oh Lord, I think almost 3 inches deep. And this is the bottom tray. And again, it has the handles, right? And you see how deep it is? And then this is the bottom. Got the little feetsies. As far as I remember, and I'm just doing a quick look-see before I measure it to be absolutely clear. Yeah, look at it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Oh, Bonnie, I'm sorry, honey. I hate that. Maybelline. What can't you be true? Do you remember this? Sorry, you guys. My brain gets really overactive. There is the tiniest bit of plastic loss right here because this thing is 60 to 70 years old. And right there on the corners. So this that's on the same 2 corners. So this must have been where they lifted it up and put it down all the time. So let me show you in total. See how high it is? So it holds a heck of a lot more than you think in terms of your makeup palettes, your face washes, your, perfumes, your jewelry collection, whatever you want, right? I love this. And you all know, if you've been around with me for a while, how much I love plastic. So if I'm selling this and I say I really don't need any more jewelry box storage, that I mean that, because otherwise I would never let go of this. I've had this for about a decade. 9 inches long, wide, 9 inches wide, the short side. Sorry. By 15 inches long by 2.5 inches tall. Yep. Maybelline. They sold this 1 year only, I think around Christmas time, in the department stores. It's just freaking so cool. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bonnie. Well, y'all, it does, Rose. It does. And Bonnie, I'm sorry you lost your internet connection. My internet, like I said, is doing so much better since I got the new satellite dish. But nonetheless, I mean, I live in this valley where, like, every 3 weeks, the power goes out for 10 minutes to an hour. And at wildfire season, I've had it go out for 5 days once. But that was a really bad wildfire. So hopefully we don't do that very, very often anymore. Hopefully we don't have any wildfires, because no thank you. I'm prepared. Every summer is spent, hardening all the land around me, all the pine needles, tree limbs, branches, grasses, like several times throughout the entire summer is cleared away, cut back, and then you just have a go bag and say a prayer. We even have, I think I might have said this recently, but we have evacuation tags that say Mendocino Sheriff evacuation on them, that I'm started our fire safety council up here. And we grab them and hang them on our address pole so that as first responders are coming through, if we hang our tag, they know that person is safe. No one's in the home, so they can keep going and help the next person, which I think is brilliant. But I mean, that's how much danger we are. In fact, I'll close almost this sale by saying, in this area of California, the only way you can get fire insurance is through the state of California. And it's incredibly expensive. And many, many people who live in this area don't have insurance anymore on their homes because they cannot afford it. So they just pray that it never happens. And I'm about to be one of those people. Yes, Bonnie, Mother Nature is really angry. Oh, Lord, before I close entirely, if we could all just give our prayers, our good thoughts, our support financially, physically, whatever you do spiritually, religiously, to Texas. That's what we can do tonight. That's super important. That's just awful. And I know it flooded in all kinds of other places, but the damage in Texas and the loss of life, especially all the children, is just... So if you do whatever you do, please do. Okay. So thank you, everyone, for coming today. I know it was very impromptu. I think I showed a lot of really great items for a good price. I think I usually do. I hope I do. If you're watching in the replay, please send me an email and claim some items. Okay. And I will invoice tomorrow and Sunday. I'm not having a sale Monday, so it'll probably be Friday. Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Good night, Bonnie. Good night, Rose. Bye. Good night, Tanya, if you're still here. Oh, Bonnie, don't be sorry. Just come hang out with me, Bonnie. Don't be sorry.